Hello everyone, today's video is all about SDLT. So just a reminder of changes that are coming in for non-residents for SDLT from the 1st of April this year. So this was announced in the previous budget. Stamp duty land tax. Basically, the rule says that for non-residents buying residential properties in England or Northern Ireland, there will be a new surcharge for SDLT being 2% above the normal rates that would have applied. So it applies to the acquisition of both freeholds and leaseholds, and also SDLT applies to rents when a new lease is granted. I think just as an aside, people tend not to realise that the SDLT can apply also to rents, not just when you purchase property, but the granting of a new lease, rents thereon. So anyway, back to the 2% surcharge for non-residents. So it's non-resident individuals, and also includes certain UK companies which are controlled by non-resident individuals. And the rules say that refunds of the surcharge will be available for those who become resident after their purchase. So you're overseas, you're non-resident, you buy resi property in England, you pay the surcharge, and then you move across to the UK, then you get that extra 2% refunded. So interesting enough, I always like to look at why the government have brought tax measures in. Every tax measure that's brought in, a new rule, there's a reason for it. So the reason for this, so we have a look at the government's policy objective, and they disclose all this. It's all available in the public domain. So what they say is this: introducing the surcharge will help make house prices more affordable, helping people get onto and move up the housing ladder in line with wider objectives of home ownership. The revenue raised will be used to tackle rough sleeping. So there you go. So basically the government think that there are too many overseas individuals buying up property in the UK, well, specifically England and Northern Ireland. Remember, there's a separate SDLT regime for Scotland and Wales, but that's basically the government's thinking, is that that people can't get on the property ladder because the property prices have been inflated by all these people based overseas buying up property in the UK, and the objective aims to tackle that. So going on to look at what else the HMRC and the government have written, they've said the economic impact. This measure may help to control house price inflation by leading to a reduction in residential property purchases by non-UK residents, some of which is offset by an increase in purchases by UK residents. So that's effectively what they want to happen, is less foreign people buying UK properties and more UK resident people buying UK properties to get on the housing ladder. More people to do that, and also it'll bring down the price of house price inflation. That's the economic impact. So another thing that always fascinates me is to look at the costings, because the government actually put together numbers, predictions, what they think it will cost them, or indeed they will gain from bringing in these policies from a revenue perspective. And interestingly enough, for the tax year 2021, so that the year that we're in now, remember these rules come in a couple of months' time on the 1st of April. So for the tax year that we're in now, they reckon that this measure will bring in an additional 250 million. So obviously that'll be people, non-residents, trying to buy property now before the change in the rules. And then from the next tax year, when this new rule kicks in, the government maths guys have predicted that it'll cost the Exchequer £355 million. So for the next tax year, that's a big cost. So the country will lose out on £355 million worth of SDLT because all these overseas individuals will stop buying. So big swing. So £250,000 extra tax this year, and then 355 million less tax the year after, and then they predict that it'll creep back up again. So that it'll be a revenue raising exercise. So as potentially more UK people buy more properties because there's more housing stock available. And it'll be a few tens of millions in 2022-23, going up to 100 million the year after, and then 100 million the year after that. So interesting economic impact of that policy decision. But anyway, if that affects you, if you're a non-resident individual and you're looking to acquire for investment purposes or maybe to preempt a move to the UK, then you buy property in England and Northern Ireland. Let's get this absolutely right. England and Northern Ireland, you buy the property from the 1st of April, an additional 2% surcharge. If it's just an investment and you're remaining overseas, you suffer that extra 2%. If you're planning on, however, moving to the UK after you bought the property, the resi property, you'll get that 2% refunded. So that's just an overview on SDLT for non-residents and the whole rationale for the government introducing it and the economic impact. If you do like this video, please do subscribe there, and I will see you soon.